My mission is to impact the hearts and minds of women, helping them change their stories and empowering them to love themselves, their bodies, and their lives.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Change Your Story podcast. I'm Hannah Dawson, your host and transformation coach. I'm a certified personal trainer, nutritionist, mindset coach, writer, speaker, and creator of the Fit Club Babes app, and I am here to help you transform your life. While I love teaching all things nutrition and fitness, and trust me, you'll get lots of that on here, my true passion lies in the power of mindset and self-relationship. I know firsthand how powerful a mindset shift can be. It has profoundly impacted not only my health and fitness journey, but also my relationship with myself, and it can do the same for you too. Many women believe as we age, we lose our beauty, body, and health, but that's not true. You can feel and look amazing and get better with age, and I'm going to show you how. Are you ready to change your story? Let's flip the script one thought at a time. What is up, my lovelies? Welcome back to the Change Your Story podcast. I'm your host and transformation coach, Hannah Dawson, and I am so excited to be in your ears today. I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to encourage you today. And so that is my hope today, is that your hearts and your minds feel impacted, lifted, and encouraged and empowered today. And that is my goal. And so today, you guys, we are going to be talking about faith through the process. This is something I really haven't talked about in a long time. I have been more, on more education lately, still motivation, but education. And I just feel like sometimes we really need a good dose of some soul care, some soul work, some really getting to the root of things, to really tap into that soul part of us, to that heart part of us. And so I thought, what a good topic today is faith through the process. And some of you may know, and some of you may not know, when I first started my business, it was called Fitness Ministry. And one of my taglines were oh goodness, now I'm going to forget, train with a purpose, eat with a purpose, and faith through the process. Or for the process, through the process. But so these were my taglines, and I was really reflecting and thinking about that today, and just how powerful just that one line is: faith through the process. And so what is faith? Faith is believing and hoping for something, and believing and hoping for something that you don't have yet, but believing that you already do. You it's like having a dream or a goal. You can visualize in your head. It's not physically here right now, but faith is knowing that it will come, right? Faith is, what is the definition for faith? So faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So this emphasizes that faith involves confident assurance and certainty in what we hope for, even when we can't see it yet. It's a trust in what is beyond the visible, rooted in belief that it will come to pass. So what is it that you are wanting to have faith for? What are you believing for in your health and fitness journey? What is it that you're believing for in your relationship with yourself? Have you really thought about that? That this journey of self-love, of self-relationship is going to require a whole lot of faith and a whole lot of trust, because, those things that we desire to be, that align with the highest version of ourselves is going to require faith, because we may not feel like we are there yet. And I remember, and you guys may have heard this story, but I'll say the story again. And so it was probably 6, 7, 8 years ago. I don't know when I had my breast implants removed, and I stopped getting Botox just because that's what I felt I needed to do, because I was so dependent for so many years of running from myself and thinking that I needed to be something else and to portray this image, and that if I could do that, I would love myself more. And again, in the moments, that's not what you're thinking. But as I sit and reflect back, I just was running 1,000 miles an hour trying to run from myself. But You know what? You cannot run from yourself. You just are faced with yourself every day. You look in the mirror. And so if you really don't learn to love yourself and build that relationship, nobody can do it for you. And unfortunately, what's in you pours out of you. And so if you don't love who you are, if you don't like yourself, it's just gonna ooze out of you into relationships, into your environment. And a lot of the time, our relationships and our environment and the situations in our life, they just reflect what's inside of us, because we only see what our perception and our perspective allows us. So if it's distorted and delusional, that is what we're going to see. And so I remember standing in front of the mirror in my bathroom, and I remember it so vividly because I was naked, and I was literally naked physically, but naked like feeling naked in the sense of I didn't have anything to grab onto to give me that quick fix of like, okay, I'm good enough, because my good enough always came from these external things. Like, if my body was a certain weight, or if my body looked a certain way, or if I had no lines on my face, or if I had makeup on, or if I had the right outfit, or if I got validation from people, or, it was so circumstantial. It was so shallow that, when I didn't have those things to grab onto, and I didn't have those things it was like standing in front of that mirror. It was like a baby with its soother or its blanket, and you're weaning it. And I could feel I didn't have anything to grab onto. And so when I was standing and staring at myself in the mirror, I was thinking, I need to lose weight. And that was always my thing, you guys. That was always my thing, because from the time I was a teenager, growing up in a home where I had no control, and I didn't always live in the same home, and my mom was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I had no control. I had no control over a lot of things in my life. And so when I did find health and fitness, and I did change my body, that gave me such a sense of control. So I think that was such a part of my identity that I attached my worth to my weight and not to the habits and the actions. Like, fitness was such an amazing thing in that life. It was a godsend, because it really did keep me from going down, making bad decisions. But it also was the thing that when I did make bad decisions, it pulled me out of those, because it was always my love for fitness and that feeling. I couldn't explain that feeling, right? It was the lifestyle, it was the routine, it was the habits. And coming from a life of watching addiction and, horrible habits and inconsistencies, fitness was consistent. My routine was consistent, but I attached my weight to that. And so because I gained a whole bunch of weight, and then I lost a whole bunch of weight, and when I lost a whole bunch of weight, everybody noticed. So I got attention I wasn't used to getting. I got validation that I wasn't used to getting. I was extremely shy. I was not good at school. I was good. I was smart, but I didn't think I was, and I didn't apply myself because I did not want to be put in the limelight or in any light if I screwed up or made a mistake, and it would feel even stupider because my self-esteem was so incredibly low. So the gym was this haven for me. The gym was this place that, I did good at. I showed up to, and the trainers recognized me, and wow, honey, you're back here today. So I really attached my identity to that. But I thought it was the weight and not the habits. I had no idea. And so standing in front of the mirror, that was my first thing. Like, in order to love myself, I got to get back to this certain weight, or because that was like, it was such a ingrained belief in me. It was such a deep-rooted belief that if I was a certain weight, or I could control my weight, it was the thing I could control. So when I didn't have control, because I got rid of my implants, and that felt right for me, that decision felt right for me, but I still didn't feel good about my chest. I still didn't feel good about something that I should have felt good about. This was my body that took care of me. And then the Botox, I did not want to stop taking, but I knew I had to, because it was an addiction for me. It was, if you've ever had an addiction, and like, you can't have one drink because you can't stop, and it's never enough, and you're always thinking about, obsessive about it. That's what plastic surgery was. That's what getting all of that stuff was for me, because I'd get it and it would never be enough. I would always see another thing, and it was almost worse than before I even got it. And so, standing in front of this mirror, and I'm like, oh, I just need to lose weight. If I could just lose weight, that's my goal, because that was also an addiction. And I believe that women are addicted to losing weight. It's like this instant high, like, boom, I got the weight off. I'm good enough, or I have control. And it's just such a warped, distorted reality. So, back to the story, standing in front of the mirror. And I heard this voice so loud that I never heard before. And I did, but I probably silenced it, right? We silence that small, quiet voice, the voice of truth, I call it. We quiet it because we don't want to hear it and we're not ready to hear it. And the voice said this. The voice said, could you love her, as I was staring at myself naked in the mirror, just as she is, if you could never try to lose weight again, or never try to build this body? Because I'm in the fitness industry. I'm comparing myself to all these other, these fitness trainers that are so ripped and so lean. And I'm like, if I could just be like them, my business would do better. I would be validated. I would get on the magazines. I would have more clients. The women would trust me more if I could just look like them. So again, this was my thing. I didn't feel good enough. My self-esteem was so low. And that voice was like, could you, if you still had to do the habits and work out and eat healthy, could you just do it to be her, just the woman in the mirror that you are now? And I knew in that moment that something had to change. I knew in that moment that I had to start healing my relationship with myself, that the story that was playing in my head was keeping me stuck, that it wasn't all of these external factors that I kept chasing. It was that I was running from the very thing that I needed to do, the very girl that needed me most, and that was myself. I needed myself. I needed to accept myself the way I was. I needed to love myself the way I was. And that really became this journey of really faith through the process. I had to let go, and that was scary. And at moments it was so freeing, and at moments I would think, I'd be like, oh, because I was so used to depending on dieting and needing to be a certain way. And it was such a weird thing. I could feel the weaning, and at moments it was fine. And at moments I would find myself wanting to go back to those things of control, right? And it's things that we feel like we have control, but really it's actually a sign that we don't have control. And we're trying to find ways to manipulate ourselves into loving ourselves. We're putting conditions on ourselves. And so I really had to decide that I was going to be all in, that I was going all in on loving myself. And I'm telling you, it is still a journey. It has been a process. It has been learning faith to trust that, that I will get through it, and that God will get me through this, and that He made me the way that I am. And, I am the way that I am for a reason. And you are the way that you are for a reason. And, it's only when we decide to fully embrace ourselves wholeheartedly, unapologetically, no conditions, no conditions on loving yourself, that you don't have to be a certain weight or have certain be a certain size, or, have perfect skin, or, have the perfect body, or have the right outfit, or talk a certain way, or have the certain group of friends to like you, or, you don't have, or be organized enough, or make enough money to accept and love yourself. That you can do that now. You can decide to take that leap of faith and go, okay, girl, I see you. I see you in the mirror. I see that you're calling me. You are yearning for me to love you and to accept you and to like you, because all those things that you are trying on the outside to get people to like you, to get validation, to get the perfect outfit or the perfect money, it's all an attempt to love yourself, but it doesn't come from those things. You have to look at the girl in the mirror, looking back at you and going, I am ready to love you. I'm ready to accept you. And it was like when I decided to see myself as if I was my own daughter. And how would it's having kids has really opened my eyes to being able to see situations with myself with more grace, and with more gentleness and forgiveness. And so wherever you're at on your journey with your body. And this is such a, it is such a complex journey, I would say, because, we're not taught this. We are products of our environment that we grew up in. And a lot of the time, those environments may not have been healthy for us, or what our parents believed or told us may not have been true and may have been some of their limited beliefs. So now we are a product of what we grew up in and beliefs that we have told ourselves and believed in. And it's time to really start embracing yourself and loving yourself. And so, that's the biggest leap of faith of all that you're going to take, is to really wholeheartedly fall in love with who you are and who God created you to be, and really, date yourself. Even if you're married, even if you have kids, date yourself. What do you like, right? Get okay with saying what you like and what you don't like. And that is a part of, knowing yourself. And doing those things to take care of yourself. Then health and fitness comes from a different perspective, because you realize that you have this amazing, incredible body that works 24/7 for you all the time, non-stop. Your body is this incredible organism in force, and it is powered by spirit and love, and everything is working for your highest good. And when we realize that, we realize all we have to do is have a little bit of faith. I think there's a song, "Have a Little Faith in Me," or something like that. I'm not a singer, but there's a song like that. But have a little faith in yourself. Have a little faith that if you just do something small today to love on yourself, and even talk to yourself with love, and even spend time in the morning and just wrap your arms around. So I've been doing this, okay? I've been taking my arms and I've been wrapping them around my body like I'm giving myself a hug. And I literally envision and visualize my words going inside my body and talking to every cell in my body. And I say, thank you. Thank you, and I love you for taking care of me, for keeping me alive. And I thank my lungs, and I thank my heart, and I thank my senses. And I really think about what those things provide me. And it really does. Gratitude will always take away fear and anxiety and negativity. That is the antidote to anything that you're feeling. The opposite of faith is fear. And a lot of the time, when we hyper focus on external things and we don't feel like we are enough, it's just because we're afraid that we're not enough. And so we have to start saying that we are enough. And that comes from, just believing that the more you speak over yourself, the more you work on pursuing a relationship with yourself, it can be so freeing. And it's just like a muscle. The more you do it, the more you start seeing yourself in a new light. And when you walk past yourself in a mirror, or you're walking in the mall and you catch your reflection, it's not negative anymore. You actually like that woman, that girl that you're looking back, and you should like yourself. And I know there's so many things out there that saying it's selfish to self-love, and but here's the thing. What is in you pours out of you. So if you don't love yourself, if you have low self-esteem, if you don't take care of yourself and put yourself first, how good are you to anybody else in the world? You will be what you are. You will attract what you are. So the more you start loving yourself, the more opportunities that you've always wanted will pour into your life. The better your relationships will start getting. The better your relationship with yourself will start getting, the healthier your body will start getting, the easier the decisions that seemed hard before will start becoming easier. The habits that felt like you were fighting yourself, or felt like you were going against the tide, is going to start flowing a lot better when you start working on yourself. And, faith through the process. You're going to have some faith. You're going to have some faith that, whatever your goals are, as long as it's rooted in love, and as long as it's rooted in a place that you are coming from taking care of yourself, have faith that it will work out, and just make sure that your relationship with yourself is the first foundation, is the solid foundation. Everything else flows from that. And so if our relationship with ourselves is toxic, our habits will become destructive, addictive, distorted. And so it's important that everything has to come from a foundation of love. And this takes time and this takes healing, but you can do it, and believe that you can do it. Just believe that a little bit of faith, that's all you need. A little bit of faith, one word to yourself a day will change everything. Right? What you speak to yourself will dissolve negativity, or will discourage you. It will pull you down. So just remember, your words that you speak to yourself and the thoughts that you think about yourself will have the biggest impact in your life over anything else in your life. All right. I hope that encouraged you today. I'm so grateful for this podcast and that I get to be in your ears. And so, I'm just so grateful for you, and that's all I want to say. And so the more I can share, the more you need encouragement, I am here to encourage you. And so I have a little bit of homework for you today. In your journal, I want you to take some time and write about a time when you had to trust the process in life, when you had to have faith and how it shaped you. And maybe, write about what area that right now you need to have a little bit of faith with yourself in, with your body, with your life. Where are you needing to apply that little bit of dose of faith? And write it down and journal. And then, share with me. Let me know what that is. Let the community know what that is. And if you're not sure what our community is, it's our Fit Club community. It's a amazing community of women where you will be supported and uplifted, a place of accountability and encouragement. And so, if you're looking for that place, this is the place. I'm your coach. I'm your, mentor. I'm your friend. And I would be more than happy to have you. So everything is in the show notes as far as the homework prompt, so that in case you don't remember it, all the notes, all the links to the Fit Club community, to the Fit Club app, everything will be below. And I just want to say thank you for tuning in. I would love to know your thoughts on this style of episode. I'm just speaking from the heart today. And so what episodes are your favorite? What do you like more? Tag me on social media. Take a selfie of where you listen to these at, and make sure, it would mean the world to me if you could go and rate this or review this. If you're on Spotify or iTunes, just scroll to the bottom of my podcast page and you can rate this, and then you can leave a review. I love reading your guys' reviews, and I'm beyond grateful for it. It helps the podcast be found, and it helps other women just like you find these words and find these messages of encouragement. You guys, until next time, bye for now.